Hey guys, it's Dami, and I'm going to be doing a product review on this awesome book by Robert Shemin. It is How Come That Idiot Avoids the 75 Most Costly Mistakes Every Real Estate Investor Makes. That is one long title, but that is the title. And I got this free of charge. It is an ebook. I'm really mad because I really wanted the paperback book, but it's the ebook. I read a lot of reviews and some people didn't like this book, and I actually think it's a really decent book. I'm a real estate investor myself, and so I absolutely love reading any type of real estate investing books. I love educating myself. I don't care how long you've been in real estate. You need to read. You need to read. It's just like anything. You need to learn. Learn. You can never stop learning more. There's always something new out there that you can learn. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how long you've been in a business. You can always learn something new. That being said, pretty much it's straightforward. This guy lists the 75 mistakes in real estate. So I'm not going to go through all 75. What I am going to do is just go through a few of them that I personally like and that I personally want to talk about, and I just think is the most important. Again, not everybody is going to think the ones that I chose is the most important because everybody's different, but this is my video and this is my review, so I'm going to tell you what I think is most awesome. Okay, mistake number 1. Not getting started in real estate investing early enough. That is something that I think is great for everybody. I'm under 30, so I know a lot of people are like, oh, whatever, you are young enough. No. I'm going to tell you, I go to network meetings, okay? And I always think, I'm under 30, I'm going to be the youngest person in there. No. There are 19 and 20-year-olds that own 20 to 50 homes. It's not in their parents' name, grandparents' name, sibling. It's in their own name. They own 20 to 50 homes, okay? So I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have been doing that a few years ago. And so yeah, you're never too young to invest in real estate, whether it's with your own money or without your own money, okay? Because you don't need to invest your own money. But yeah, I definitely wish I would have gotten started earlier, especially more so I can learn more and I could, have a lot more mentors and learn from other seasoned investors and stuff. But I was one of those people that always said, real estate investing, that sounds cool. And it just kind of, lingered in my head a while, but I never did anything about that, and I do regret it. What else? Okay, here's one. Mistake number 9, letting your business get out of your control and run you. That's important. Real estate is not simple. Real estate is not easy. It can be easy, but in the beginning, it is a lot of work. You work from morning till night, okay? And that's the problem. When I started in real estate, I was getting up, I was looking at houses, I was doing this. You're on the phone with contractors, realtors, attorneys, banks, private lenders, tenants. You're constantly on the phone all the time. You're doing meetings here, meetings there, networking with this person, It is a lot. And you don't realize that you're starting to consume yourself with this. And it only reason why I say I understand this is because it's happened to me, and it just recently happened to me where I just started kind of slowing down and telling myself, okay, you need to take time for yourself. As he states in here, you need to run it like a real business, okay? I made the mistake of my realtor calling me at 8 p.m. and I'm answering the phone because I'm up, and I'm like, it might be something important. Oh my gosh, let me answer this phone, You're not going to miss it. You can't do anything. It's nighttime. Everybody's probably asleep anyway. You can do everything you need to do. He can leave you a voicemail, a text message, email. You can get back to him in the morning. Set your business hours, 9 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever you want. But don't have, your phone ringing off 10 p.m. and stuff. Set hours. Don't do that. I did that. Don't do that. Recently we had family visit us, and I was on the phone more with like contractors and realtors and my tenant than I was spending time with the family, because my phone was just going off. And it really can consume you. Don't let that happen. You know? I was at the point where I was like, I'm just gonna do this to where I get to the point where, I don't have to worry about anything. I can be on the beach for 3 months if I want. You won't make it to the beach, because if you keep going on like you are and you let this consume you, I just put it this way, you won't make it to the beach. You won't make it to that day. Seriously, it's a lot of work, but you miss out on a lot of time. And that's something that my husband and I realized. We haven't even taken a vacation. Like, we used to go on vacation all the time. Like, weekends, it was like, we're going to pack our bags and we're going to go here. We didn't care about nothing. Now it's like weekends, we get up, we look at homes. Weekends, we get up, we meet with this person, meet with that person. And we haven't really had any time, for each other. So something that to think about. Mistake number 12, thinking that real estate is risky. I used to think it was risky, and real estate's not risky. It's the person that's risky, not real estate. Okay? Real estate is not risky. You have to educate any business, regardless of what it is. You have to educate yourself. That's how you learn. Real estate, in my opinion, is one of the easiest ways for anybody, regardless of your age, to retire. Because like I said, you can use your money or you can use somebody else's. It's one of those things that you have to educate yourself, learn how the ins and outs of it, and you can be successful. What else? Mistake number 34. Overlooking bad houses and bad neighborhoods. I did that in the beginning. I was listening to, I don't know if it was a podcast or I was reading something or a book, and the guy said, never invest in an area or a home that you wouldn't live in. Well, I'm going to tell you how that will screw you up. Because if you're like me, okay, I have high standards. I do. I'm going to admit I have some high standards when it comes to my living situation. And if I were to only buy in neighborhoods or buy homes that I would live in, I wouldn't be in real estate. I'd be broke. I mean, I'd probably be broke after the first, second house, or, I wouldn't be as far as I am now. I'll just put it that way. And that was one of my biggest things. When we came in, because me and my husband do it together, we were like, no low income, no Section 8, no hood, no ghetto, no nothing. We don't want to go near it. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to even drive by it. Like, that's how we felt, And it wasn't until, I started educating myself more and more, and networking with other people. And I'm like, they bought what for what and how making how much? And I started to realize, like, this guy talks about spending all this money on this nice house in this nice area and getting the same amount of rent that you would if you bought this mobile home or cheaper home in a lower income area. And that's where we found that, you make, for cash flow reasons, because we do rentals. We don't do fix and flips and rehabs. We specifically do rentals. So, we were like, okay, we can buy this $150,000 home or townhome. Mind you, I'm speaking of where I am. I'm in North Carolina. The home cost of living is a little bit cheaper, a lot cheaper. So $150,000 gets you a nice little townhouse in a nice, middle class area. Green grass, kids playing outside, little Pomeranians, Shih Tzus running all over the place and stuff. And you might get $800 in rent. Okay, that's not bad. Or you can go, because the way our area works, you could be like in the suburbs, and then 10 minutes away, you could be in kind of like the hood. Kind of like Durham's like that. And then you can be in a not so nice area or a place out on the outskirts, which is not in city limits, like the Raleigh-Durham area, but someplace on the outside. And you can buy a house for $40,000 and get the same amount of rent, $800. So if you think about it, why would you spend $150,000 if you could spend 40? Matter of fact, to make this simple, I can buy like 3 homes or 4 homes, as a matter of fact, about 4 homes and get 4 times the rent. So if you think about it, those the homes might be in not so good areas, like this guy mentions in his thing. They might have drug dealers and they might have gangs and stuff like that. But you're going to maximize your profit, especially if you're in the rental business where you like to do cash flow, long-term investments, buying holes. Bad houses, bad neighborhoods will make you money. I'm telling you, it will make you some money. All right, let's keep going. Not screening tenants well enough. I wanted to say this. A lot of people say, oh, use a property management company, let them screen your tenants. Hell no. That's something I will never do. I don't care how many homes I have. I will never let anybody screen my tenants, and I'm going to tell you why. If you are going to screen your tenants, okay, you got 2 ways to go here. You can use a property manager, which they're going to use a third party, or you can just go through a background check company. It's going to do your background checks for you. Fine. Then you have the other side where you can use law enforcement, such as a private detective company, and they can do the background check for you. Now, I'm going to tell you, those are 2 completely different background checks, okay? And this is something a lot of people don't know. You're not going to get the same information. You can pay the same amount of money and get, and you're not going to get as much information with a regular background check company than you are if you use investigative company. Reason being is because investigative company, they actually have the background. They have access to all the information. They have access to records that are technically closed. So for instance, there was a lady who, she did a background check on her employees, okay? And she was using a regular background check company or whatever, everything was good. Well, when it was time to, update the background check and everything like that, it's always good to do background checks on your employees at least every year, every other year. She did a background check, and the next time she used investigative company. Well, one of the people she did background check had a background check done on before. Some other stuff came up that was not too right that she hadn't seen before. And she questioned him, and he was like, how did you know that information? And he was like, that wasn't supposed to be on my record. That being said, okay, screen your tenants very well, and not telling people what to do, but I'm just saying from personal experience and from what I know, use law enforcement, use an investigative company. Do not use these regular, unless you really don't care. I mean, unless you really can care less, you can go ahead and use those background check companies. But I'm going to tell you, if you really care about your tenants and what type of person you're getting in your homes, I highly recommend that you use a company that has full access to all the records and stuff, even the records that supposedly are not supposed to be on their record. Anyway, let's see. What else? Not inspecting properties regularly. That is something you must do. We made a mistake of not inspecting our property, and not that, the tenant's not a bad tenant or nothing like that, but there were some things that were there that weren't there before. I'm going to just say that. whether you do it with, or whether you have a property management company do it, whatever. But just make sure that you always do a walkthrough. Have a walkthrough. I know a lot of people, when they rent, they don't like. I know when I lived in an apartment, I hated if they did inspections and stuff like that, because it feels like, you're invading my space, you're invading my privacy, and you feel like somebody's checking up on you. But it ain't all about the money. You gotta save your arse. Gotta save your arse, okay? So make sure you walk through your properties and stuff like that. Make sure everything's good, especially if you have Section 8 tenants. But I'm just saying. Anyway, what else? Oh, mistake number 49. Not using licensed, bonded, and referred contractors and repair people. I'm gonna say this right quick. Okay. We had a really bad experience, okay, using a handyman. Not saying that all handymen are bad. There's really great handyman out there, and unless you really know your handyman and you worked with him for years, and you personally know him, personally know his work, and you have that bond like for life, like then that's okay. But there's a lot of things you're gonna want to use a licensed person for, and one thing is because when you don't want to get sued. If your tenant, if you get a handyman and he fixes something and something go wrong, like a light fixture falls on your tenant's head or something go wrong, and they ask you for who did this, and you say, Joe from down the block, who's like, 65 years old, you can be sued. You're going to get sued, okay? Because he was not licensed. You will get sued. Now, I don't know about all states, but I'm going to tell you, you can get sued, okay? Another thing is that, there's a lot of investors out there that I've met that really don't care about their properties. And I'm not talking about them because they're slumlords. That's what they are. They're slumlords. I'm not a slumlord. If I fix something, I'm going to use a contractor. It's going to be done right. You're going to be a happy tenant, okay? But you definitely don't, you will a lot of times you'll spend more money not using contractors, okay? Licensed contractors. Like I said, we went through a situation where we wanted to get something repaired, and no lie, this person didn't know how to do an invoice, okay? And my husband was pissed off to a T, and I couldn't really get mad because he was referred by somebody I knew, but my husband was so pissed off, he started flipping out. If your contractor does not know how to send an invoice, kick him to the curb. Kick him to the curb. I'm telling you that right now. Anytime you have a business, I don't care who you are, how old you are, okay? Everybody knows anytime you have a business where you sell something or you provide a service that I don't know, I thought it was mandatory, but you should have an invoice, a receipt, or something like that, okay? Not written down on a little piece of paper. I mean official one. Like, you could get it. What I didn't get is that you could go on Google and type in invoices, and there's like a crap load of invoices that you can download, okay? So the fact that that person did not know how to do an invoice, didn't even want to take the time to give us a proper invoice, just said a lot. It was already shady to me. That's shady. I can't deal with that. If you don't want to give me an invoice, no. Anyway, like I said, use licensed, bonded, referred contractors, repair people, which is like handyman. But like I said, if you're going to use a handyman, make sure you know him. There's that bond there, okay? I do have a guy who is a handyman. He used to be a licensed contractor. He got hurt on the job. He can still do the job, but because he got hurt, he's on disability technically. Nobody will give him a job in that field, but he does an excellent job. So yes, I do use him even though he's not licensed anymore. But anyway, okay, we're almost done. We've only been talking almost 20 minutes. Let me go down. Let's see. Bam. Like I said, work number 63, working only on making big deals when the little ones pay the bills. That goes back to the whole bad neighborhood and bad homes to me, because like I said, there could be $150,000 home, and it's in a great neighborhood. You're going to get 800 rent, which is really decent here. Or you can go out, get you a little deal, $40,000. You can buy 3 of them, and get 800 each. Boom, there you already like tripled your profit. So think about that. Thinking and worrying too much, then losing the deal, goes back to analyzing. He said something about analyzing the deal too much. You don't want to do that. We've lost a lot of deals analyzing and overthinking. You don't want to do that. Not understanding that real estate investing is a people business. I'm a semi-introvert. Like, I really am. Like, I like people to a certain extent. And that's why a lot of times it's always good to have a partner. Like my husband and I, my husband's like really laid back to a certain extent, and I'm very stern. So whenever it comes to tenants and stuff, he's more of, the laid back, check stuff out, make sure everything's good to go. He's like my eyes and I'm like the mouth, That's pretty much how it is anyway in a marriage. But, yeah, like you definitely have to be a people person. And if you're not a people person, you definitely need a partner that is. And you, especially if you're going to be dealing with tenants and contractors and stuff like that, you want to like gain friendships. Like we have a friendship with our realtor, we have a friendship with our contractors. You definitely want to have that rapport with people. That is very, very important. Okay. I think that is. I think that's it. But, okay, so that's it. That's what I'm going to actually go through, because, like I said, there's 75 of them, and I'm not going to go through them. But that was just a few of the things this guy talks about in there, and a few stuff that I added personally to it. I like the book. I think it was really awesome. He didn't take too long on any of his points and stuff. He got straight to the point. For example, analyzing deals and stuff like that. He actually gave you a lot of information, as I said, about buying a $150,000 house or buying this house. He does stuff like that in here. So it's straight to the point, not too long. Let me see something right quick. I'm trying to see how long this book is. Okay, here we go. So, hey, this is a pretty large, it's not that large because it's on an ebook. That's the one thing about ebooks. They seem like they're really long, but they're really not. But honestly, I think it's a great book. I definitely think this is great for anybody who's, even if you're not an investor or not new to it, if you're interested in getting into investing, I highly recommend this book. I think it's a great book. There's a lot of things in there that I wish I would have known before. There's a lot of things that I started to learn, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm still learning now. So, like I said, if you're an investor, regardless of the book, all books are awesome. All investor books are awesome. Some of them say the same things, but some of them you learn a little bit of something new. But I like the book. I think it's awesome. So anyway, again, this book, really? Anyway, so like I said, this book is by Robert Shemin, okay? And it's called How Come That Idiot Avoids the 75 Most Costly Mistakes Every Real Estate Investor Makes. And get you a closer look at that. You can buy this on Amazon, okay? And yeah, so I think it's awesome. I like it. If you guys have any questions about the book at all, or you guys have any questions about the real estate investing stuff that I talked about in this book, you guys can feel free to ask me or whatever. I'm still very new to real estate investing, and so I feel like, some people have asked me questions about real estate, and I'm like, I mean, some stuff I've learned and I can share, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, a lot of stuff that I'm still learning. So a lot of times I just refer them to a book or refer them to something I've read or podcasts. Podcasts I'm really big on. If you want to learn like real estate and you really are interested in it, listen to these podcasts. Listen to them. They're like amazing. Some of them can get boring, but some of them are awesome. But anyway, I'm not going to talk you guys to death because I've been talking for like 25 minutes. Now I'm already tired because it's night and like I have bad allergies right now. That's why I like look all crazy and stuff. But yeah, so like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. And thank you guys for listening to me for like 25 minutes. Anyway, bye and stay tuned for more reviews.